Welcome to our presentation about the international mix strategy of Finca El Cafetal. This is the group of people that have been working on the case study from the beginning of the class. We have Natalie, we have Andres, we have John Clement, and we have Esteban. We are the ones that have been in charge of making this internationalization marketing mix for the new product that Finca El Cafetal has developed, which is El Cafetal Premium, its new premium brand of coffee. So we're going to start the presentation with the product strategy. For that, Andres is going to explain to us everything about it.
Hi, thank you, Esteban. So regarding the product and service strategy, the idea is to make El Cafetal premium coffee have a differentiator in terms of quality and design. Obviously, taking into account that we should enter the market with a fair price. After that, we need to do a lot of investment in research and development in order to develop some new added value sub-products like coffee infusions or also like using the coffee dehydrated skin. Then we think it's very important to adapt the coffee sub-products to innovative and competitive ones. For example, chocolate and tea, developing sub-brands under the umbrella of El Cafetal Premium. Some examples would be coffee dehydrated skin infusions, coffee used for products like candles or decoration, other sub-products like coffee hot sauce, and also using the coffee for agricultural improvements like using it as a fertilizer. Importing coffee into the United States there's a need to abide to the law, basically with three main institutions: U.S. Customs and Border Protection, FDA, and USDA. In terms of the process, there are several steps prior to shipping, during the shipping, and after the shipping. We are not going to go into depth with each of the steps, but we want you guys to have all the information detailed here in these following slides. Inspections from the USDA and FDA administration are very, very strict due to the perception of Colombian products, basically because of their drug history. All of this information is also very long, very extent, but it specifies documents and all the required processes in order to arrive to the ports in the United States. Registration can be done very easy, and they're done through FDA website, basically registering as an importer. And how are you going to use your food facilities, not only in the export process, but also in the destination country? Here we use the chart in order to explain the branding key, specifying values and beliefs, reasons to believe in the brand, benefits, discriminator. So when we're talking about the values and beliefs of this brand, Finca El Cafetal wants to position the brand as an honest brand that delivers on time, that has customer awareness, that is also socially responsible. Reasons to believe in the brand, the main goal is to build trust among the consumers. The benefits is that since it's a natural product, obviously with a really high quality, it focuses on health and wellness of the people and has a unique taste based on its high quality. The discriminator, and obviously found in a lot of investigations and focus groups done before, a lot of people want to have an experience, a different experience when they are drinking coffee. So Finca El Cafetal will give all the customers a unique experience when drinking coffee. The inside And it's basically what we found in customers. They think that all coffees are the same. So this is going to be our starting point in order to make coffee different, not only in terms of quality, but also in their experience that people have. Our target market, it's the city of New York, and our target niche, it's young adults between 25 and 45 years old that drink coffee or have any contact with hot beverages at home or at wholesale markets. Strengths of El Cafetal Premium would be quality, client service, and an innovative brand. Regarding the branding architecture, which is the strategy that we think should be from the beginning installed, is that we're going to have a brand umbrella that it's El Cafetal Premium, and under that umbrella we want to in the medium and long term different brands under that general brand. We don't want to go to brand endorsement at this moment because it's a brand that is only starting. The package, here's when innovation starts, because the package for this coffee, we're going to use a Henneken bag. It's biodegradable and it's done with natural fiber, resistant to export. So it's basically a package designed for exporting anywhere in the world. And due to the characteristics of the material, it allows the people to smell the quality of the coffee and also feel clearly the inner content. Within the product and service strategy, we also want to focus on three main aspects: people, physical evidence, and the process itself. Regarding the people, we need to involve harvesters, sharing their stories with end customers, training them, showing the end customer how the process is done from the harvester all through the distribution chain. So we're also involving logistics and all the other shareholders and stakeholders in the process from the beginning, from harvesting to consumption of the coffee. Also, in the local market, we need to train baristas, and those trained baristas are also going to be brand influencers within the distribution channels. We want to give all the customers a coffee training experience, so that coffee is not a regular product itself, but El Cafetal Premium is more than that. We're gonna give them the experience of El Cafetal Premium coffee culture. In terms of the general process, it should be standardized: planting, harvesting, processing, tasting, exporting the coffee, miling, and all the other added values like roasting, grinding, and brewing. They should be somehow standardized until the exporting process. But since our slogan is quality made coffee, we want the last steps of the process, being roasting, grinding, and brewing, differentiators. So they should be customized depending on the distribution channel at the local market. We're still missing one aspect, is the physical evidence. It's going to be explained at the end of the presentation. Now, Esteban is going to explain a very important part of the pricing strategy for El Cafetal Premium Coffee.
Thank you very much, Andres. So as Andres was saying, and we have already seen the product strategy, now the second strategy to analyze in this presentation is the pricing strategy. When it comes to pricing, there are several things that you have to take into account. These are logistics. You also have to take into account the market and the environmental, like the environment as well. Okay, so when it comes to logistics, we have actually selected New York as Andres was explaining earlier, because it's a prime market for our premium coffee, but because it is also very ideal when it comes to logistics, because New York, it's a port city. So actually getting the product there is not as complicated as it might be to any other city within the United States. Okay, so when it comes to logistics, El Cafetal, Finca El Cafetal, with its new product, El Cafetal Premium, needs to take into account all of the transportation costs. As we will see later in the pricing strategy, we will be using the Incoterm DDP because we want to place the product pretty much to be sold in the shelves in the United States, in New York. They also have to take into account all of the tariffs, taxes, all of the local production costs, if there were any, and also the channel costs that we will see later within the presentation. When it comes to the price, to the second issue of the pricing strategy, which is the market and the business environment, this is where the pestle analysis comes into account. Because as we did in the first part of the case study, we have already taking into account all of the economics, all of the social, of the legal, environmental, technological, and political aspects, because you need to really know your market. I mean, you really have to develop the competence of being like intelligent when it comes to marketing, because you need to properly price your product in order to reach your target audience. Okay, so when it comes to the market and business environment, you have to take into account the demand for coffee in the United States, the income level, is these people that we're targeting, do they have enough money to buy our premium coffee? Remember, what we're suggesting to Finca El Cafetal is to develop an added value product, which is a premium quality coffee. Also, what we need to consider is the culture and consumer behavior when it comes to drinking coffee in New York specifically for right now. Later on, the company, depending on how well it's doing its business, can expand. Okay, and so we also have to take into account the purchasing power of the cost of the consumers, the competition. Actually, we say that New York, it's a very ideal city for coffee drinking, but it also means that there's heavy competition there. But we will talk about the competition later on the pricing strategy. And regarding the environmental environment, if we may, we were talking about exchange rate, we're also talking about inflation, price control, and all the other legal aspects as well that Andres was talking earlier. So it is very important that Finca El Cafetal has the following considerations. Okay, so as Andres was explaining earlier, the focus of the product is on quality. We want to be recognized as a premium brand of coffee. We don't want to be the regular coffee that all the people drink in the morning. No, we want to be the quality that they yearn for, the quality that they have craving for, the coffee that they really, really feel like they want to drink when they feel like that's what they need out of most of the world. Okay, so the focus is on quality, of course, but then in order to have the proper pricing strategy, and in order to have actually the proper price of the product per se, we also conducted a benchmark with the competition that can be found in New York. And we can find in here, for example, that when we were doing the benchmark, we found that there's a range of prices between $12 and $40 per pound. So the idea with this is that now we have information from the market, from the actual market, that will allow Finca El Cafetal to properly price its product. But for pricing strategy, it is also very important to consider the substitution products that a premium coffee has. In this case, when we were doing the benchmark, we found out that the main substitute product for coffee is actually tea. And when we were doing the research, we found out that there's actually quite a few premium brands when it comes to tea. So within the price range that we find while doing the benchmark, we found out that premium tea has a range of prices from $7 to $40 per pound in the United States. So this is very important because now we have the actual prices of the direct competition, but we also have the prices of the substitution products. Okay, and it is also very important that Finca El Cafetal must always keep track of the associated costs for its premium coffee, because this will guarantee success in the long run. So, when it comes to the pricing strategy, we suggest that Finca El Cafetal adopts a neutral price strategy for its premium coffee brand, El Cafetal Premium. When we were doing this analysis, we were also thinking about penetration price strategy, but we think that since we want to focus on a premium price, okay, we don't want to, like, the public and the consumers to think that our product is cheap, okay, because cheap and quality don't mix, okay. So we decided to go with the neutral price strategy because we did the benchmark and we want to be within the range of prices of premium coffee currently found in New York. Okay, so some of the advantages regarding this neutral price strategy are that prices are set by the market and its conditions. Also, it allows for that the neutral pricing strategy works in all of the periods of the life cycle of the product, in introduction, in growth, in maturity, and decline. When we're entering the decline, then we're going to be innovative, or Finca El Cafetal is going to be innovative, as Andres was saying earlier, with these new products, products like go beyond just simple coffee. Okay. Also, another advantage of the neutral price strategy is that consumers will perceive prices as being fair, because that's what they're used to pay for coffee, and it will also increase the loyalty of consumers, and it will help position our El Cafetal Premium brand. So, having said this, we decided to sell the product or distribute our products in pounds, okay? A pound is 18 ounces. So 18 ounces of our premium price will be from $7.72 to 15 US dollars, okay? The best advantage of this is that we're going to be on the lower end of the price range, which will help us have a little of the advantages of the penetration price strategy, but not actually being $3 per pound, for example. So we will have some of the advantages of two pricing strategies, but we're going to keep with the neutral price strategy. Okay, so when it comes to the distribution strategy, it is important that we consider the following premises. Number one is that Finca El Cafetal doesn't have its own international experience, because all the exports that they have done so far are through intermediaries. Number two, they have never exported any product different from green coffee beans. And number three, this is going to be the first time that they're going to be producing added value products. And becoming a premium coffee brand is a step that they have to take in order to guarantee the success and the longevity of the business. So when it comes to the distribution strategy, it is the most important to analyze that we suggest for Finca El Cafetal to adopt an exporting entry mode. Okay, why exporting? Well, it is because, first of all, as we were talking in the premises, Finca El Cafetal don't have that much experience, and exporting is ideal because it helps expand their business. It makes them less dependent on the Colombian market. Okay, it also allows them to gain experience abroad while not having very good investments. Okay, and then if they are successful within New York and the United States, they can expand to Germany and Japan and actually further markets. So with the distribution strategy, the international distribution strategy, then we need to talk about four different things. Okay, number one will be the distribution density, which will be we will have several outlets where the products will be presented, and that will be, for example, retailers or wholesalers. Some of the examples can be here like Walmart, Costco, Kroger, and Amazon. Then we have the channel length. How or for how many people does the product needs to pass in order to reach the final consumer? What we think is that we're going to be from the Finca El Cafetal manufacturing or production, then to the wholesaler, to the retailer, and then to the end buyer, to the final buyer. Then we can say that the channel length for El Cafetal Premium will be 4 intermediaries. When it comes to the channel alignment, it is very important that Finca El Cafetal has a clear and defined roles and responsibility with its channel for distribution of El Cafetal Premium, okay? Its advantages are to improve demand forecast, to integrate forecasting with supply chain, and to optimize its networks, okay? And the final aspects of the international distribution strategy is to take into account all of the logistics. We have already explained the logistics, but now we have also take into account the logistics within the export channels. Finally, the physical evidence that Andres was talking earlier is the promotional strategy. When it comes to promotional strategy, even though coffee it's a commodity and it's an agricultural product, its promotional strategy needs to be up to date to the current standards. So what we need to do is that we need to focus on a defined traditional strategy, but also with a current and advanced and digital strategy if we may. So what we have in here is that we have, for example, promotions like coupons or buy one get two free, or if you have like a loyalty card. Then we also have advertisement, regular advertisement in magazines, newspapers, TV. We also have, for example, at the bus station, like all of the traditional methods. Okay, but we also want to go further into the promotional strategy because we want to take into account like the fourth revolution that we're now in, and we want to take into account all of the social media, including YouTube, including Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, also having QR codes that allows them to link with an application of the coffee that will be developed for the company, that will explain all of the benefits and the quality of the product. Finally, when it comes to the launching campaign, we are going to have, as I was saying earlier, both approaches. We're going to have traditional, but we're also going to have something more outside the box. So the traditional approach is that we're going to be available for purchase by any person that wants to buy premium coffee, within store shelves, as we can see here in both of these examples. We're also going to pay for premium spacing within retailers and wholesalers. That way the product can be seen better by consumers and can actually generate like more buzz when it comes to the innovation of the product and the attractivity of it. Also, on the launching campaign, we're going to be working very closely with our partners, supply wholesalers and retailers, because we want to be inside supermarkets with a specific coffee station, if you may, where we're going to be explaining all of the benefits and all of the quality of El Cafetal Premium. So that is the marketing mix, the international marketing mix for El Cafetal Premium from Finca El Cafetal. These are some of our references, and thank you very much.